Happy Sunday, Stampers and Paper Crafters. This is Facebook Live, number 394. It is Sunday, April 13th, and I'm excited to be here tonight. My name is Joy Borwedge, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Burnsville, Minnesota, and I have been a demonstrator since August of '99. I have some new product to share with you that's going to be released in the new catalog when that comes out on May 6th. And somebody's going to get a chance to win it. So I'm going to put you down at the table in just a second. If you get motion sickness or anything like that, look away, and I'll let you know when I am done messing around with the camera. So hold on. So hopefully everybody has had a good weekend. There we go. And I'm going to loosen this up. Ooh, opposite way. Okay, so we're going to slide this down. There we go. And hold that. Tighten that up. All right, so that's a little. There we go. Squish in a little bit. There we go. I think we're good, right? Okay. Put a little bit of light on the subject. I mean, it's nice that it's 6:30 at night and we can see outside and not have to worry about all the darkness. All right. So, again, my name is Joy Borwedge, and I have an Instagram page at Stampin' for Joy. My online store is stampinforjoy.stampinup.net. You can place an order 24/7 whenever you want. penguinz33@outlook.com is my email address. That if you don't happen to have a demonstrator that you're working with, let me know, and I can mail you the new copy of the catalog. Now, if you don't have this, I would love to send you one. If you are a customer of mine and you've placed an order with me since last year, 2024 of January to now, you will automatically be receiving one. I don't know when those are mailing out, so let me know. Just letting you know. Now, this is the current catalog, and where did that go? And the spring mini catalog. Now, these are the ones that are current, and a lot of the product is going to the last chance product list. Now, this list is something that either A, it's on sale and has a discount, or B, it does not. Now, if it's on this list, it will not be returning. If it's in either of these two catalogs and it's not on this list, it's going to be either moving over to the new catalog, or it's going to be in the online exclusives. So there's several different ways to look at that. So if you go to the online store and up in where you see those three dashes, those three lines, you can search by last chance products, online exclusives. So anything that has a last chance written by it, that means it's not coming back once it's sold out. And then it will be on the discontinued list. Now, if it's an online exclusive, we have no idea how long that's going to last. So it's while supplies lasts. Another place that you can look for your products right now is the scrapbooking brochure. Now, this scrapbooking brochure will end once the new annual catalog comes to life, and this catalog has scrapbooking products in it. So that's the reason why Stampin' Up! Has this online virtual brochure, so that when they bought the products and the makers over to Stampin' Up, that kind of, they had to do something quickly and to give them product to play with. And so that was, hey, Jason, how you doing? So that was how they were going on with that. So I have a really cute card to demonstrate tonight, and that will be using products from the new catalog. Now, I cannot show you this catalog, but I could certainly show you product from it. Now, we're going to be playing with the Florals in Bloom Sweet Collection, and let me show you some of the product that comes with that. Now, this one's called a Mega Sweet, and what that means is that there's 2 stamp sets, okay, and then there's, technically they're bundles, okay, so we have the Sweet Blooms bundle, and then we have the Pretty Florals bundle. And what that means is when you purchase the stamp sets and the dies together, you save 10%. Now, when you purchase the Sweet Collection, that is just one number, and you get everything in the suite. Now, the designer series paper that coordinates with this is just beautiful, but I'm going to actually show you just a second here what the dies do. Now, I'm going to show you what this one does, because we have a lot of product that, let me show you here. So these items on this side are actually stamped and then cut out with dies. Everything over here is bonus. So you can stamp product, cut it out, or you can stamp cardstock and cut it out. Now, the calyx on the bottom of these 3, that's a die, and they come together. Where is it? They come together and they cut it out. And that is in right here. That's the flower, and then the calyx that's on that is, I just played with this just the other day. I think I might be missing something. What is that? I don't know. It's on here somewhere. So what it does is it gives you the green that goes on the stem. And so I'm going to be playing with this suite tonight, but I just want to show you what the dies do. Now, this one, you can stamp the 2 large words, and then you also have the backing, and then you can also do that in cardstock. So it's really however you want to play with it. I love this, that it's a lovely day. Let joy bloom. Then bloom where you're planted. You make me smile. And it's a lovely day. So, I mean, or have a lovely day. So it's really a very well versatile suite that it's a lot of fun to play with. Now, the designer series paper that I'm showing you features a lot of the new in colors that are coming out. And so I did that with this on personally. So the new colors are, this one here is called Cloud Cover. This one here is called Strawberry Slush. Then this this color right here is called Timid Tiger. And then Darling Duckling. And so then we also have the dark one right here. And that one is called Secret Sea. So we have a wide variety of colors that coordinate with the designer series paper, but it also focuses on the different in colors that are being released May 6th in the new catalog. Okay, so let me show you the card that we're going to be playing with tonight, and somebody's going to get a chance to win this card. And how you get a chance to win this card is if you do a thumbs up or a heart. That gets your name entered. If you say something like hi, or if this is your first time on my channel, you could certainly let me know where you're from, and that will get you entered into the drawing to win this card. And if you share this on your timeline and share with people, number one, it's great that you're getting my name out there. And number two, there might be a paper crafter that's on your timeline that might be inspired to pick up their stuff and create and then make somebody's day. So this is the card that we're making. And let me show you the... Ooh, I also forgot to show you that we're also using the textured notes dies. Now this is in the online store and it's available now. Okay, so we have bits and pieces here, and I have measurements so that you can come back and recreate this card if you wish. This is a piece of Secret Sea. Why is it just all of a sudden? Yeah, Secret Sea. These names are, I'm just trying to get used to the names. It's a really dark blue. It's almost like midnight blue and black cat a baby. So basic black. So that is Secret Sea. It's a piece of scrap paper. Then we have a piece of the Designer Series paper, which is 5 by 1.5. And then also another piece of the Designer Series paper. It's just a scrap piece, but we're going to use it. So it's a 1/4 inch by 4.5. Let me just put that like that. Then we have another piece of the Designer Series paper, which is 4 by 2. And another piece, which is 4 by 1.5. A piece of basic white, which is a 3.25 by 3.25 square. A piece of basic white, which is 4.5 by 3.25. A piece of Timid Tigers, that's one of the new ink colors that's being released. And that is 5.25 wide by 8 inches long. And I scored it at 4 inches to make our card base. And then our backing to that card base is, again, that Secret Sea. And it's 5.5 by 4.25. I don't know why I wrote that down wrong, but let's change that just in case somebody wants to come back and recreate this card. I don't want them to have the wrong dimensions on that. So that is really 5.5 by 4.25. It's basically 1/4 sheet of a half sheet of cardstock. All right, so there you go. That is our colors. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sit for a second because it gives everybody a chance to come back in and get everything cut. Now you may not have this colors already, yet. If you sign up to be a demonstrator now, you can do that as a pre-order. But anyways, you could certainly use whatever Designer Series paper you have on hand, whatever stamp sets you have on hand, you can come back and recreate this card. All right, so that should be enough time so that you can come back. Now, my videos are being erased after 30 days. Facebook is not keeping videos past 30 days. So I will be taking this video and putting it on my YouTube page as well. All right, and that's under Joy A. Borwedge, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. All right, I'm just going to take a drink here. All right. This card is actually a pretty simple card for the layout, but I really love the colors and it works with it. Now we're also going to be using, this is Summer Splash, and it's the ribbon. Now it's an ink color that was introduced with this catalog that is now retiring. So this color has one more year to play around, and this ribbon is not retiring. It's going to go into the online store. So that means while supplies lasts. And Stampin' Up! Is doing that with all the in-color ribbons that were released at that time. So Petunia Pop, Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, Summer Splash, and Shy Shamrock. So all the ribbon is just like this, and it has stitching on both sides, and it's very malleable. So you can make really nice bows with that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to stamp the inside of our card. And the reason why I like to do the inside first is just so that if I make a mistake, I can certainly fix that. And that's a really good, it's basically a good place to start. And then we'll come back in and attach. Okay, so I'm going to grab my Stampin' Pearson mat, and that has a piece of copy paper that has been printed on one side. I'm just kind of recycling it, and then I'm going to throw this away after tonight's video. So we're going to take the Summer Splash ink pad, and we're going to stamp, and I'm just going to grab my stamps and place them face up so that I can grab them when I need them. And we're going to do the greeting that says, "You make me smile." Now, whoever wins this card tonight, hopefully, I'm actually not going to pick the winner tonight, but it gives you enough time to like, share, and then the people that see it also get a chance to like it and share it. Right, so I'm going to let that ink just sit there for just a second and allow that to transfer. And so it gives them enough chance to try it as well. And that's the reason why I like to do this, is because I want to make somebody happy. And a friend of mine came over yesterday, and she said that she is a person that wins a lot of my cards because she, shares a lot, and she makes cards, and people seem to like to send her cards back. And she says, you never know how, what am I trying to say? She says, when you make a card and you send a card, you realize what it makes somebody else feel. And so she loves doing that. And so if I have, like, when cardstock retires and I have bits and pieces, I love to give them to her. Because I don't keep my retired product. I like to sell it. But if I have scrap paper, I love to give it to her, because she likes to mail the cards out and basically make someone's day. And that's what I love. All right, so we put a little tiny bit of cardstock on the inside of the card. Okay, so we're just going to flip that over and cut that off. Those were my new paper snips. And that will just snip off. And because this turned out really nice, I'm going to keep it that way. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open up. I'm also going to put a bloom on here, a flower, because I want to. So what I'm going to do is, this is a silicone mat. So whenever I do small pieces of, actually, I'm just going to leave it there. Whenever I do small pieces of adhesive, small cardstock with adhesive, I like to put that on there. So then that way it doesn't stick up and gum up my cardstock. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this big bloom. This is the background. And I'm going to stamp that in the Timid Tiger. Oops. And then I'm going to stamp that off right up in the corner. And then I'm going to stamp that right next to the flower. Oops. That got a little spot there. Doggone it. Okay. So, because we did that, we're going to take this off and we're going to flip it over, because that is why we do not adhere cardstock to, because if you mess it up, you could flip it over just like I did. See that spot right there? Now we're going to clean it off. So this is going to go back on just like that. And we're going to line this up. And the only person's going to know is anybody who watches this video. All right, so again, we're going to grab our greeting and we're going to move that. You make me smile. Allow that ink to transfer. There we go. And then we'll close that ink pad up. Okay, I'm going to clean this up. Just, that's the wrong one. I'm going to grab my Simply Chamois and grab this, clean it. Now, the Simply Chamois is actually as big as this, but I like to cut mine up in bits and pieces just because I don't want to make, I want to make sure that when I have stamp camps at my house, apartment, I should say. When I have people over, I want to make sure that I have enough places, enough Simply Chamois to go around. All right, so now we're going to stamp this off. First generation. Now we're going to go to second generation. We're just going to go right there. Perfect. That's what we wanted. Okay. So then now what we're going to do is we're going to grab, we're going to close this up. We're going to need that in a few seconds, but I do not like to have different ink pads open until I'm done, just because you can certainly drop them. All right. So this is Secret C, and we're going to do the same thing with that. We're just going to do, this is the highlights of the flower. And so that Secret C is going to go right here. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now we're going to add adhesive to the back side. And I'm just going to close that up for now. We're going to come back to that. Now we're going to add adhesive to the whole thing. And we're going to put this on the inside of our card. And we're going to come back in here. Oops, I forgot. We were going to do something. We're going to leave that adhesive facing up. Okay, so now I made this card early this morning and I kind of forgot what I was doing. Okay, so we're going to stamp this piece in Timid Tiger, and we're going to stamp off, but we're going to move it from here to there, okay? And then we're going to hit that again. Oh, man. Grr, grr, grr. Do, do, do. I'm just going to get another piece, and Timid Tiger. All right, we're going to just go cut another piece. All right, so now we're going to grab the Simply Score, which is this. And this is real life crafting, folks, no editing. All right, that goes in half. And so now I'm going to grab the bone folder and give this a nice burnish. Okay, so now we're going to do that again. Sort of open up the inside and stamp off. Let's see. Stamp off means first generation's here, and then we're going to just stamp. First generation's over here, and then we're going to stamp. first generation. There we go. One more time. And then there we go. All right, so we're just decorating the inside of the card. And so with this, we're going to go full generation. Okay, so then we're just going to ink that up. Now, actually, I do like, oh man, I forgot to clean that off, but a lot of it's going to show, or a lot of it's going to get covered up anyways. Okay, so there we go. And there we go. So now we have the flowers that are right there. And then we're just going to put this right there. See, I don't like that. That bugs me. So I'm just going to get another piece. And you know what? I'll give my sample out. I'll keep this as mine, and I'll do my sample. Because then that way you don't have to waste another piece of cardstock. Okay, so we're going to come in and play with that later, but we're going to close that up. Okay, and then we're going to come in here, and we're going to ink this up. I'm just going to take that. We're going to do the same thing. Actually, I'm going to do it the way I originally did it. I like to do the highlights first, but I kind of gravitate towards always doing the lighter color first. But it's actually easier to line up the flowers once that has been done. So we're going to stamp off, and then we're going to go in here. And there's some divots in the flowers that I like to line up. There we go. And see how that turned out pretty cool. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab the Summer Splash, and we're going to, I'm just going to move these ink pads over here because they are open. But we're going to line up the leaf, the stems of these flowers, and we're just going to lay that down. Okay, and so that's going to be our main focal point. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to close this up, and we're going to do a little highlighting technique. But first of all, what I want to do is I want to actually clean off my ink pads, or my stamps, because I don't like to leave the color on the new stamps. These are photopolymer, so I like to keep them clean, and also kind of prevent what happens on the inside of the card from happening. Okay, so now, and we're going to leave this one. We're going to do the hello. We're going to do some embossing, heat embossing. So what we're going to do is close up the Secret C. Now this one, this is Timid Tiger. And so what I did is I squeezed the base, the bottom, and I squeezed it up into the lid. And it created some some kind of like a puddle of ink. Now this is our, what you call Winkostella. And Winkostella actually is a glitter brush. And so by stamping off, we're actually giving it some highlights by also creating some glitterized fun in here. And so we're just doing some highlights. We're not doing the whole thing. You might want to, get to the edges and come back in. Okay, you want to see the two different colors. And I'll pick that up with the blender pen. Just a little bit. Now, if you think you got too much ink on there, you can always, clear it off a little bit right there, but then still go back in. Because not all the flowers, they don't all have the same color. They don't all have the same, they have the highlights on there. They're all different, The sun looks at each one differently. Okay, so again, we're just picking up some color and highlighting it. It's kind of like watercoloring, but with an ink pad and something fun that glitters. Can you see the sparkle on there? Right there? Okay, so now we're going to do that onto the inside of the card, and go back in, pick up some color. And the reason why I didn't do it right away is because I wanted to give it a chance to settle down and dry a little bit, because I didn't want all the secret sea, which is blue, to blend in, and that would be, kind of create mud, which is not necessarily pretty. I mean, to a pig, mud looks wonderful, or to a little kid who wants to go play outside in the rain. But, I mean, there we go. Isn't that pretty? Little highlights. Okay, there we go. And that is the inside of our card. So there's a little two-tone there. Okay, so we're just going to allow that to dry. And so we're going to wipe this off so it clears off, so that the next time I will not, when I use this brush, it will not have Timid Tiger on it, and it will not blend my colors in together. Now, if I wanted to, I can clean that off with a napkin or a baby wipe, but I don't have anything with me right now, so I'm not going to squish that in. So that was Timid Tiger. Now we're going to take the circle punch. And this is a 2 3/8 circle punch, and it is going to be in the online store. All right, so we're just going to put that like that. And now we're going to stamp. We're going to use Versamark, and we're going to put that on our scrap piece. Let's see, let's get rid of that. Okay, so we're actually going to grab this is the Additions embossing kit, and it is in the main catalog, and it will move over into the new catalog. And this is the embossing buddy. And I like to use that on the area in which I'm working with, and also on my tray. I live in Minnesota, so it can get staticky. So that will help with the embossing powder to go back into the container. And so that is the embossing buddy. And we are using the Wow polished silver, because I thought that that would be a beautiful color that would coordinate well with what we're doing. Okay, and then we're going to use Versamark, which is a watermark pad, and it's sticky, so it will hold the silver embossing powder right on it. Okay, so we're just going to dump that on there. And we'll just tap it. And that looks pretty good. I think there might be a couple pieces that I'm just going to use this paintbrush. I'm just going to grab those flecks, because when you heat it up, those flecks can still get heated up. All right, and it will stay. But heat embossing is a really fun way to produce a wow effect. Okay, so I think we're good. I'm just going to actually just put this lid lightly on it and put this back in once we're done with the video. And I'm going to use my, close the lid back up, and I am going to use my reverse tweezers to hold this. Like I said, this is a scrap piece of paper. So we're going to hold that. And I'm going to get rid of my Stampin' Pearson mat. And we're going to turn this heat tool on for just a moment. You may not hear me very well, but I just want to make sure it turns. It's going to warm up. And I'm going to let you watch the magic as it happens. And it just melts that silver powder very quickly. And then we'll just go over the top and we'll just double check that. And so that's how you know it is done, when it's shiny. Now, I think there's a little spot on the H that I could go back in. I might have missed. So I'm just going to go back and heat that up for a second more. There we go. And you can burn your embossing powder. So you want to just let it sit there for just a few seconds. Now we're going to actually cut that out with the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. And so I'm just going to move this over. Now this happens to be with Versamark, so it's kind of a sticky ink. So I'm actually going to just clean that pretty well. And if it's still sticky once I'm done with the video, I'm going to use my Stampin' Mist and the rubber scrubber. Okay, so what we're going to do with this piece is we're going to add it to the base of our card. And that goes on right here, gives us a nice border. So that way when we open up the card, we can also see that it does, when you have this closed, you get to see that secret C. And then when you open up the card, you also see the secret C as well. So then now we're going to put on the Designer Series paper. And that is going to go right there. Now I'm going to put this over to the side and leave about an inch down at the bottom so it's not going to go in the center. And then we're going to grab that silicone mat again, because this is a skinny piece and it is going to go on just like that. And it's just going to hang over a little bit. Now this piece right here is going to get some adhesive on the back side. And we're going to use that ribbon that I showed you in the beginning. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off the side here. And we're going to go up and create a little loop and come back down and create about the same loop and have a tail as well. And so then now we're just going to cut that off just like that, and then put that back Now these are my ribbon scissors. These were Stampin' Up's ribbon scissors, but I refuse to get rid of them. And I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and I'm just going to put 4 of them on here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm also going to use my my Take Your Pick tool to remove the backing. So at a slight angle, I'm going to stab and grab those backings, because I don't like these all over the place. I want them in the trash can once I'm done, which is right over there. And I'm going to put my lid back on my people poker. That's what I call it, because I am the people that pokes. And we are going to put this on the front of the card, just like that. And then we're going to snip off the edges just a little bit. And there we go. And then we're going to grab our Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. We're going to do the little one today, the mini, because we don't need a big one, right? And this is the one that we're going to use. Now, my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, they're cracking. They are very well loved, but they still work. So, all right, so this is how your platform looks, okay? The Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. The big one does the same thing. So you can pull these down, and you can store it. Doesn't take up a lot of room. Now, when you do the small one, you want to have your plates staggered. So the number 1 plate, which is right here, you want that at the bottom. Then you want your cutting plate number 2 kind of like halfway between these two. See that black line right there? That's how I do mine. So I like to put that right there in the middle. And then once I get my die and my paper on top, then I kind of match those two, the top and the bottom. So it looks like a 3, okay? So it helps with the the rollers on the inside. It helps with that. So because this is a flat edge, I am actually going to put that at an angle, because anytime you put anything through the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, you want it to have less stress on those wheels, correct? So doing it this way has less stress on those wheels. So we're just going to put those through and cut that. And any squeaking, cracking, those noises are normal, and that's okay. And then we're just going to put this back through a second time. So we're going to line up the die onto the cardstock where it kind of clicks in, okay? And it clicked in right there, so it's kind of, I pulled it too hard. So you can kind of feel like it grabs on to the existing holes already in there. So then I'm going to grab my Post-it note and put that in an angle again, and it's going to shorten it even a little bit more. And that is how you use your dies to create something a lot smaller than was originally intended. Isn't that cool? So that comes out from something that is this big, and I made it fit to perfectly to the size that I need. And like I said, that goes with the textured note dies. It's in the online exclusives. And every one of these dies has a different embossed etching on the outside of the edge. So, and you get 8 dies in that rectangle die set. All right, so now we're done with this. I'm going to fold those back up. I mean, my stamp room is my bedroom, and there's really not a lot of space in here, and I use it up very well. Okay, so now we're going to add our, we're going to put a mini dimensional on here, and we're going to grab that silicone mat again, and we're going to put adhesive on here. So the reason why we're putting adhesive on it is because this circle has dimensionals, and so it is raised. So now this hello is going to attach where I want it to, but it's not going to dip down, okay, because of that dimensional hanging out there. Isn't that cool? All right, so then now we're going to add the rhinestones. And we could certainly use the in color flat pearls, but because I use the silver on here, I kind of feel like the silver of the rhinestones would match better. And these in color pearls are so fun, and they're flat so that they mail so much nicely than something that kind of is raised. All right, so we're going to grab a large rhinestone and stick that down at the bottom. And then we're going to stick this one right here. That's a medium size. And then we're going to do the little rhinestone kind of right up there. So we're creating a triangle. And that is the card that we've done with new product that's coming out, available May 6th, featuring the in colors. So what do you think? Okay, and so like I said, the card that I will be sending out will be my original card, because the inside I did mess up on, and so you could see what it looks like down there. So this will be the card that gets mailed out. And so if you want to get a chance to win this card, all you need to do is do a thumbs up or a heart. That gets your name entered into the drawing to win one of these cards. Leave a comment. You have 30 days to leave a comment. And leave a comment. You could tell me where you're from if this is your first time here. All you have to do is say hi. That means you get entered into the drawing as well. Then, if you share this on your timeline, there might be a paper crafter that hasn't touched their stuff. Maybe seeing this video might inspire them to pick up a stamp, pick up some cardstock, make something pretty, and mail it out. Right now, we need happiness, and so happy mail is one way to do it. So thank you very much for hanging out with me. Oh, and by the way, sharing gets you 2 entries. So thank you very much. I appreciate all the thumbs up, the comments, the sharing. I appreciate everything that you do and all your orders. And so hang out with me next Sunday after 5 o'clock. Hopefully I can get another one. Karen, I'm just almost done. You missed me. Come back and watch the replay, okay? Oh, thinking of that, the next event that we're having, I forgot to mail that or to mention that in the beginning, the next event that we're having is June 7th. That's a Saturday. So registration is open now. So go in and register. This suite is actually something that I'm going to be creating a card for the event, and I just did that today, so I'm excited. So thank you again for hanging out with me on a Sunday evening or watching the replay, and I look forward to seeing you again next week